Hello people, I've been thinking about a lot about the whole death gives meaning to life thing. And it strikes me as an odd thing to say. Life gives meaning to life. Even atheists have said the brevity of life is what gives it meaning, but how? By what mechanism? It can't be brevity because we often joke about when you read a good book and the book ends, there's a sense of melancholy about it. Or this meme going around of when you have to return to your everyday life after a great movie. The fact that it ends, the movie, it just doesn't make you happy. You go, the movie was great, but now I have to return to my everyday life. And death is the ultimate version of this. We also talk about the fact that it gives urgency, but this sense of urgency gives us stress in our everyday life with work. Think about deadlines you have to meet and projects that have to be finished. All of them have deadlines. You don't go, yes, this deadline is making it worth it. You become stressed about it and worried about it. Also, the death gives meaning to life thing. It's strange when you look at Mark Hoppins when he got his cancer diagnosis from Blink 182. Mark Hoppins from Blink 182. He wasn't happy about it. He said, I'm depressed and sad. Yes, that doesn't give meaning to life. Also, with my own illness thing, that killed somebody earlier this year, and Bob Saget's sister had it. It's a slow death. I'm sitting here, I don't have a job because of said health problems and the pandemic. So I'm ruminating on my own mortality. This slow death isn't fun. People have this Hollywoodized notion of you die slowly and you can come to terms with. No, there's no coming to terms with it. It's depressing. Somebody else on this death subreddit is 21. So he's younger than me. This person is younger than me. And he said he isn't happy about it. He's not going, yes, this gave my life meaning. Obviously, there's a difference between when you're 70 and when you're in your 20s. But nobody thinks death is beautiful. Also, I've often thought about having an art form that survives your death, that might help with existential dread. I think it was Dave Chappelle, I might be misquoting him, who said, have you ever worked your whole life for something, then have it come to nothing? That's death. You're working your whole arse off, stress, worry, anxiety, everything. Then you just die, boom, dead. And since we're not going to all have some form of art that survives us, how are we going to think about it? And living life. Because this is depressing stuff. Jordan Peterson, maybe you can help me with this. These existential questions. Because what's the point if it's all going to end anyway? If you're going to be forgotten, like the third Mexican death, when your name is said for the last time. How should we think about this? You've often said you don't fear death. You don't want to die soon, but you sort of lived thoroughly. I've seen that video of yours which said live thoroughly and you will be able to live up to your mortality. Great. But even if you have some sort of symbolic immortality, I don't really think that's you that survives. It's you at a particular point, and it does make it sort of worth it knowing that something does survive your death. But is that really you? Like, a famous actress here in South Africa recently died, and I used to fall in love with the idea of having some form of art or a scientific breakthrough or something that survives my death. But this death really rocked me and rocked my belief in that. Also, I just read today, my apologies, I saw on the television today about a police officer who was part of the Cape Town Police Force, and he was part of the gangster division, stopping gangsters, and he was shot and killed in front of his two sons. Did his life matter at all? And they're trying to continue his legacy, not their own. So did their lives matter, knowing that they're living for somebody else? Jordan, please help with this. This is psychologically extremely distressing, obviously. And I've often said I wanted to die quickly, like boom, dead. When I had what I thought was a heart attack, I've said this before, it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was so calming, so relaxing. Everything was just amazing. This is part of why I'm having this crisis as well. Because after an experience like that, it's not like, yes, I get to live. It's, okay, now what? Like also having a career and retiring. All you're then waiting for is literally death. What do you get when you retire? Some severance package? I might even post this on the existential crisis subreddit, since I'm heading in that case anyway. Since there is a whole thing in psychology. Maybe somebody can help me also with this, where people after they retire get a massive depression, existential crisis, develop no reason to get out of bed in the morning. I know there's a thing about people suddenly, for no obvious reason, developing heart problems. Their body is stopping the fight because they see no reason to continue fighting. Just some thoughts I'm having.